Yeah, so let me start by saying, Coach Sweeney, I've developed a great relationship with him over the years. We've become pretty good friends, and I've known for quite a while that he was interested in some other positions outside of the Derry School District for the reason that he's now living in near Pittsburgh, I believe in the South Hills, and those were the positions only that he would be interested in. Are the positions in that area. So I know he's been looking for a little while, and we're sad to see him go. When I came to Derry, our football team was 0-10 my first year, and then we hired coach, I believe in December 2013, and there was no looking back after that. Next thing you know, we're playing at Heinz Field. We're a perennial playoff contender thanks to him and his staff. And that's one thing about Tim. He'll never take credit for anything. He'll always pass the credit on to the kids and his staff. And that's just the type of guy that he was over the years. But again, we're sad to see Tim go. However, based on my conversations with him, the only reason he's leaving is that he's living down there. When we hired him, he wasn't married at the time, nor did he have his son Deuce. And now he has both of those things. And like he said, his priority is his family first, and that's his wife Robin and his son Deuce. And he's got to take care of some things down there. But we wish him the best of luck. I was on the phone with the athletic director from Baldwin. We talked for about a half hour. And he just asked me some questions about Tim, and I told him, I said, look, I said, you're getting a winner. I said, nothing is going to stand in Tim's way. He's going to win football games. His character is going to lead the program. People are going to follow him, and that their football program is in good hands. So we wish Tim the best. Whoever comes in after Tim is going to have some serious shoes to fill. But we're looking to start that process ASAP. And, fortunately, in my conversations with Tim, he's more than interested in being a part of this transition process to a new head coach. So he's going to be involved in the future of Derry for a very long time. He said it numerous times that he's a Derry boy, and that's very true. He bleeds blue and gold, and he's going to continue to be involved in our football program as well as our school district in some type of capacity here moving forward. To answer your question about how we're going to move forward, we need to start as soon as possible. We're going to start to advertise. We have an obligation that we have to advertise internally amongst our faculty and staff for a 2-week period. If we don't find any candidates among our faculty and staff that we feel are best fit for that program, then we'll advertise externally and continue the search. But it's now April. May is going to be here before we know it, and really the season has started now. Although it officially starts in August because of weight training and so on and so forth. But we need to get somebody in there pretty quick. The current pandemic that's affecting our world right now does present some challenges because we can't really interview anyone face-to-face. So we're going to take a look at that. Our athletic committee is going to be meeting very soon to discuss some of these items and develop a plan moving forward. But we're confident that with the success that program has had over the last couple of years, that's going to attract some quality hires, or some quality candidates rather, into the program, so that way we can find somebody to continue leading that program.
Brett, what specifically would you say right now that you personally and the committee would be looking in for a future football coach for you?
I'll go back to when we interviewed Tim. We had a lot of candidates that had more coaching experience than Coach Sweeney, and I was a little bit nervous when we were going through that interview process because Tim was our chosen candidate. After the second round, and one of the concerns that I had about Tim was he didn't have a whole lot of he had no head coaching experience whatsoever, but he didn't have a lot of assistant coaching experience. The one thing that stood out with Tim through the interview process was his personality and his personality and his character. His presence was the one thing that I'll never forget. When I was in my office used to be in the administration building, and Robbie Yeckley was my secretary. She's now at Grandview Elementary. But Robbie called me and she says, there's someone here to give you an application for the head football coach position. And I said, okay, just have them, just take the application and we'll give them a call. We'll put it in the pile and evaluate it later. And I remember Robbie saying, well, I think you want to meet this one. And I said, okay, I'll be down. And I walked down the hallway, and he was wearing a blue Penn State windbreaker, and I remember looking at him. I thought, who is this guy? Because he looked like a politician, and because Tim he had the white hair, the gray hair, and he stood up, all 6'3" of him, or however tall he is, and I said, who is this guy? This guy looks important, and it was from that day that his presence was just simply a huge factor in hiring him as a coach. Every committee member that served on that interview committee when we hired Tim will tell you that we all wanted to put a helmet on and run through a wall for him when he was done. And those are the kinds of qualities that we're looking for. High school football, it has to be a simple strategy. The X's and O's have to be simple because you're teaching a dynamic, or not a dynamic, but a diverse group of kids with various learning abilities. And if you come in with a complex strategy, they're not going to grasp it. That's the other thing that stood out to us with Tim, or for Tim. It was that he broke things down very simply. Every time we interview a coach, we do an X's and O's session. If a coach can't coach the X's and O's, he's not going to be very successful, he or she. And Coach came in and did a very simple play up on the dry erase board. He explained all of the positions' responsibilities very clear. Everyone in the room understood the X's and O's. And if a coach is able to do that, then he's going to be very successful at Derry. So there's a lot of factors, but I would say the presence of that individual, the charisma, and the ability to teach for understanding to our kids the concepts and strategies of football are very, very crucial.